everybody. You're going to need a block and a belt or whatever you're using, a bathrobe strap or something. And you're going to take this block and put the block between the thighs. If you don't have a block at home, you could use a book, something. You can find something, I'm sure. All right, so the block is between the thighs, and I'm giving a good squeeze with the thighs. And I lift up through the entire rib cage. Take the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and keep lifting, keep lifting. Be sure that you're lifting your back ribs as well, right? So it's easy to lift from the front. It's back here that we want to really create a lift, especially those of you that suffer from lower back pain. And then interlace your fingers, invert your palms and go up. Nice, smooth, even breaths. Paying more attention to your exhalations. And release your fingers, interlace the other way, invert the palms, and go up again as you press down into your feet. Exhaling completely. And then release your arms. You'll take hold of your belt, and you can just fold it in half, whatever length you have. If it's longer than this, that's okay too. I'm just going to turn around here so you can see my back. I take the right arm out to the side, and I'm going to bring it around so that the hand drops down here, the belt drops back down, and then this arm is going to come here, and I'm going to try to walk my hands toward each other. Okay, some of you don't need the belt. You can get rid of the belt and just hold hands with yourself. Okay, and if if the bottom arm does not want to go all the way up, that's fine. The hands can be as far apart as you need. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. Bring it around. Walk the hands toward each other. Lift your chest, keep squeezing the block. And then release. Bring the belt behind you and hold with your palms forward, right? So the knuckles are facing back, and just draw the arms back a little bit to help loosen up the shoulders in that direction. Draw back and then release. And now you can open that up a little and stretch this way. And so I'm working back. And be sure that you're not pushing forward with your bottom ribs. You don't want to end up going into a back bend, right? And just loosening the shoulders here. Keep breathing. And then release. And you can take your block out. And you're going to come to a wall. I have the ropes here. I assume you don't. So you find a plain wall or something that you can press into and pull back. Okay, the legs are straight, the arms are straight. I'm reaching back with the hips. And then bring your right foot forward, your left leg back. Again, both legs are straight, and now I'm going to climb up the wall and bring the head toward the wall. The shoulders are tight. You can go a little bit wider with the arms. Okay, make sure that you're pushing evenly into both feet. And then switch your legs. Okay, so you'll most likely feel a stretch in the back leg calf. And as you come forward here, you start to feel a stretch behind this thigh and the hamstrings. And remember to breathe. So these asanas, these postures go beyond the physical. They have their physical benefits. Inhale, come up. Like helping if you have back pain or you have tight hamstrings or whatever tight shoulders may be experiencing. But by incorporating the breath, go back here. By incorporating the breath, you get a deeper connection. You get a connection to the nervous system. You get a connection to what's going on in the mind, helping to calm the mind, and helping us to stay present. I'm reaching back with my hips and pushing into the wall. Okay. So you can stand about this far away from the wall, and you're going to take your forearm and place it on the wall, maybe a little further. Take the forearm, place it on the wall, reach up with the outside arm and reach over toward the wall. Okay, so I'm getting a big stretch. This is my right side. I'm getting a big stretch through my right side, and I push down very strongly with the right foot. So the arm that's reaching, that's the foot that's really pushing down. And then come on up, and you'll do your other side. Now if you have a problem on one side of the back, I know some of you have some herniations that you're dealing with, you may not want to go as far on the side. Say I have a problem over here, right, on my right side. I may get here and say, wow, that's setting off, this firing off a little nerve, okay? Don't go there, right? You can just do the side that feels therapeutic for you, right? So if I have the herniation going out here, this is the side that feels therapeutic, and you leave it at that. Maybe you take both arms up rather than going over to the other side, because we don't want to cause problems, right? Okay. So then, that being said, I'm going to take a little bit of padding for my knees. Okay, I'm coming down to a kneeling position. And I do realize that for some of you, the ankles are not going to want to do this. Okay, I know that there's some tightness there sometimes. If you have to do this, that's fine. Okay? So what I do is I come to a kneeling position, and then I bring my other foot onto a wall. Now, it's important that the foot on the wall is forward of this bent knee. Okay, that's just to keep your hips more comfortable. And I take the arms up. Okay, and again, if you have problem on this side, maybe you just stay here and create that lift. This is called gate latch pose. I haven't named any poses today so far. Parigasana gate latch pose. Okay, now I'm getting a stretch all the way through this side, the bent leg side. And I have my opposite hand on the wall, or you can go here to go a little bit deeper. Okay, and then I come out. You turn that foot forward and come out. If you need to put your hands on the floor to do that, that's fine. Now, rather than turn around, I'm going to have a pretend wall on this side. Okay? You don't need a wall to do this pose. You can do it in the middle. It's just really nice to have the support. Okay, so you reach up, come to the side, either hand on the imaginary wall, I feel like a mime, hand on the wall, or you can come here. Breathe. And then inhale, come up. Again, if you need to put your hands down or have your blocks there in order to take that leg out, that's fine. Okay. So this can go for your head. This is just a short sequence. Some of you that I'm sending these videos to are brand new to yoga. So this is a fairly easy kind of a beginner sequence. And for those of you that have been practicing a long time, maybe you're home with your spouse or somebody and you're looking for stuff to do, right? What a perfect time to introduce somebody that you're quarantined with to yoga, whether they like it or not, right? Okay, so I'm just kidding. So what I'm doing is I am what's called wedging myself into the wall. So hopefully you can see, I hope that my feet are completely on the wall, but the legs are a little bit bent. So when I straighten my legs, you can hold on to the mat, that helps. When you straighten your legs, you'll feel the buttock flesh going that way. You'll feel more of an opening in your lower back, and that's really what we're looking for here. Okay, so just a simple wedging into the wall. My feet are slightly apart. And just see that you're as even as possible. And then we'll come to Pavanamuktasana. So you can interlace your fingers behind your knee. If that is not going to work, and say your hips are tight or whatever it is, you're welcome to take your belt. Okay, and you can draw your leg in with the belt. Okay, you want to see that the back of the head remains on the floor. Okay, and the back of the neck is nice and long. And then if you can, you interlace on top of the shin here. And breathe. And release that leg. You may have to readjust yourself in between sides. Push into the wall again. Interlace the fingers behind the other leg. Keep your breathing as smooth as possible. Breathe into the places that feel that you feel like might need it. If you have an issue somewhere or a tightness somewhere, you just breathe into that place. Imagine you're filling that place with light, and interlace your fingers on top of the shin if you can. And release that leg down. You can take your arms overhead. Okay, if the elbows feel, if the shoulders get tight and you end up with arms that are kind of like this, you see? Some people, when the shoulders are tight, the arms don't want to go straight all the way over the head. What you would do, is you would hold on to the belt and imagine that you're pulling the belt apart. And release. You'll take your block and you're going to put the block between the thighs. And I'm pressing with my feet as evenly as I can, And even though you can't see them, do your best to have your toes pointed straight forward that way, rather than what a lot of us do is to let them go out to the sides like that. Okay, so toes as straight forward as you can, and you can press down into the mat, and you're just going to curl the tailbone up and lift up. So you're using the buttocks, you're using the hamstrings. And come down. And I'm finding that this is too much for me right here. Okay, so I'm a little happier with my head on the floor. Okay, curl up. And lower down. So I'm rolling from the top of the spine to the bottom, and I'm coming up the opposite way. I curl up the tailbone. Imagine each vertebrae separate from one another, lifting and lowering. Okay, so you're using your legs and your buttocks more than you're using your back muscles. Okay, go one more time, curl up. The idea is not to get as high as you can. Okay, the idea is to allow the abdomen to sort of sink down, right, and create strength in through here. And then lower yourself down. And you can take out your block and give your legs a stretch to open the back of your knees. Bring your arms up once again. Use the belt if you need to. And then arms down, bend your legs. You're going to bring your right ankle over your left knee. And then you can bring the leg in. I should show you how to do this with a wall too. Some of you are going to be fine here. You would interlace the fingers back here and that's fine. But here's an option that we recently discovered in one of the classes. If you go here, that really helps you, especially if you have a hard time grabbing onto the leg. You don't have to use your hands as much. Okay, a little too close. So I'm here, and you don't even have to go any further than this, right? The foot pressing into the wall helps you to keep everything in place. And all I'm doing is if I were to do nothing, which is what I'm doing here, my knee faces kind of that way, right? In order to get more juice out of the pose and more stretch over here in the piriformis, what I want is to get that shin as parallel toward my chest as it can be. Okay, it's not easy to do that. My leg would much prefer to be over here. But you work at it and you can press and release and press and release. One more time, press and release. Okay, other side. Okay, see what your natural state of things is. The knee wants to go off in that direction. And I have my hands on my pelvic bones here so I can feel as I press. I don't want to say, okay, well this knee has to be over there, so I'm going to do it any way possible. That's not the point, is not to be shifting your hips around to try to make a certain shape. So we're just trying to access the piriformis here, pressing and releasing, pressing, releasing. One more time, press and release. And then just take your legs straight. If you decided not to go to the wall for that one, your legs would be straight out. I'm just opening the back of my knees here. hamstrings. You'll need your belt for this. Most likely. I wedge myself in again. I'm going to take the leg out. Now, if you're a little tight in the hamstrings, you may not be up this high. You may be somewhere over here, and that's perfectly fine. Do have a long enough belt though so that your shoulders aren't crunched up, right? You want to be able to have the chest nice and open. Okay, and again, you want to be right on the back of your head. And you go where you can. You can play a little bit with the breath. I exhale and release. Exhale, draw the foot toward me and release. Exhale, draw it toward me and release. Now notice I'm moving smoothly. I'm not bouncing from, not this, right? Like 1980s exercise, right? So here and release. And a smart way to do this is just to stick your other foot in over there. Saves a little bit of time. You wedge yourself in again. Open the backs of both knees as much as you can. Breathe. Press. And release. Draw your leg back. And release. Exhale the leg back. Release. One more time. Go back. And release. Okay, straighten both legs out. And take what we call Baddha Konasana, which is the soles of the feet are together, the knees are splayed out to the sides. And allow the lower back to just settle. Okay, if you need to move the buttock flesh out to the sides a little bit so you feel even, you can do that. Relax in the belly. Being mindful of each breath. Take your arms overhead and reach. And then bring the arms down and just roll to your side. And you can push yourself up. I'm going to show you one more thing. I have these hooks in the wall here, these low hooks in the wall. What you can use is the leg of, like if you have a nice heavy sofa, you can tie your belt around the leg of the sofa or just grab onto it, okay? These are metal hooks, they're not so nice to hold on to, but if you can grab onto a very heavy piece of furniture that you know isn't going to fall on you, that's what you do, okay? So then I line myself up. So I take this arm here, and so I'm holding onto my couch or whatever I have, and you work your way out to the side. I'm working my way that way so that when I bring my knees in toward my chest and go over here, I get some nice traction. Again, speaking to people with back issues on one side or the other, you're going to have one side that's going to feel therapeutic and good. You may have another side where you get to about here and you're like, nope. So in that case, spend a lot of time on the therapeutic side. Okay, and I'm pressing down with this hand, opening up all the way through my right side. And you can come up and you would turn around And do your other side. Okay, you line yourself up. I didn't do a very good job with that. You line yourself up. Okay, holding your piece of furniture, and then you scoot out to the side a little bit. Twist. Okay, your head can be up toward the ceiling, or your eyes can be up toward the ceiling, or to get a deeper stretch, you look toward that piece of furniture. And breathe. Now my legs can pretty easily go to the floor over here. If yours don't make it all the way down there, you could do this up here, okay? You could take a little pillow or something and put it underneath you to support your legs. And then you can help your legs up with the hand. And just take a Shavasana. Okay, there's different ways of doing Shavasana. This is just kind of classic, right? Just laying flat on the floor. Some of you are going to be happier with a little bolster underneath your knees. Okay? So that's an option. Another option is to, if you were just by your couch doing that last pose. This is my couch. Not a very comfortable one. Another option would be to, and it's going to be chilly, to put, oh man, that's cold. To put your calves up on the sofa if you have an appropriate height, or a dining room chair, or whatever it is you have. And this can oftentimes really soothe the lower back and even give a little bit of traction, okay, because the legs are up, my legs are apart. So any of those are options for Shavasana. So just close your eyes if you haven't already. And take a few breaths. Exhaling fully and completely. And then take a nice deep inhale. And you can open your eyes, bend your legs, gently roll to your side. Just stay there for a moment. Couple breaths here. And really the best way to come out of Shavasana is, or to come out of when you're lying down, if you're lying down on the floor, not even in Shavasana, just doing exercises, is to imagine that you're going to get up to crawl. Okay, so you push with the hand, you push with the other hand. Crawling is not a bad thing to do. You have all this time on your hands now. You may as well. Crawling, most of you anyway, crawling is really, really good back and forward to help balance the muscles that surround the spine. Right? So you could go even further than I am here, just forward and back, forward and back. Have a peaceful day. Namaste.